Take a look at the future. In less than 200 years, our world will be in complete chaos.
They're listening. They're everywhere.
China is the power center. The United States is a desolate fourth world. The information superhighway is in serious gridlock.
Initiate the virus.
And millions are dying. One man holds the key to saving the world, but it's trapped in the back of his mind.
Hit me. If you want to move information off of the net, you'd call me.
He's a courier, Mnemonic courier.
Johnny's kind of somewhere between like a yuppie gone berserk and an exotic FedEx guy.
Rather than smuggling cocaine, he smuggles hot information.
The movie is about a guy's head.
It's a pretty intense, technological, virtual thriller.
I'm ready for my close-up now, Mr. DeMille.
Action! Action!
Wow!
Keanu Reeves stars as Johnny Mnemonic, a courier with the ability to transport information in his brain. This time, he overdoes it.
You have reached maximum storage capacity. Danger. Do not exceed.
I've got basically 120 gigabyte capacity, and I get uploaded with 320 gigabyte.
How are you feeling, Johnny? Feels like my brain's gonna explode.
Johnny Mnemonic was written by sci-fi pioneer William Gibson, who is credited with coining the term cyberspace. Seeing his short story finally made into a feature film had a profound effect on him.
The first time I came in here, I was on the verge of tears for about 2 hours. It was just like emotionally, completely overwhelming.
Okay, here we go. Walk in. Boom.
Acclaimed artist and sculptor Robert Longo brings his boundless vision to Johnny Mnemonic, a project he's been passionate about for many years.
This is more than a movie. This is my movie. I pushed it from the very beginning. It's mine.
Working with Robert has been great because he's done visual art, and to think he's trying to have everything that's cinematic and image have meaning.
There's a consistency with the images in the movie and the images in my artwork.
Get off my board, man. You are too hot.
You're a smuggler? In your head? Hey!
While Johnny and his bodyguard Jane look for a way to download the data,
Access denied.
other forces are trying to destroy him.
And who is this lost soul?
Name is Johnny. If you get me the head, get a 24 hours, triple the fee.
Johnny's main nemesis is Street Preacher, a psychotic clergyman and bounty hunter played by Dolph Lundgren.
Jesus, Giant.
Dina Myers makes her feature film debut as Jane, a street fighter who's losing her edge.
She's a soft-wired, hardwired, software implanted, very fast street warrior.
Time to go!
It's like a cross between Linda Hamilton in Terminator and Sigourney Weaver in Aliens.
Heaven, heart and soul.
Rapper Ice-T co-stars as J-Bone, a futuristic gang lord who oversees a group of anarchists known as the Low-Techs. Their domain? Heaven.
The government wants to shut us down because we're the only people out there that are really trying to tell the truth.
Snatch back your brain, zombie. Snatch it back and hold it.
There's a lot of heroes in this.
Alternative rocker Henry Rollins is Spider, a computer whiz who might hold the key to saving Johnny.
I can get it out.
How?
A general anesthetic, a cranial drill, and a pair of forceps.
And I could die too, right?
It's an action-type film with a very strong moral undercurrent.
William Gibson's concept and Robert Longo's vision were supported by a number of leading visual effects designers, including Sony Imageworks, which created the detailed cyberspace highways.
There's some cool VR stuff happening.
The film is gonna look fantastic.
It's a very, very, very hip piece of science fiction, and it doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before.
Here it is, coming at you, low-tech style.
David Guinness, momentum up by not being a slick kit, you know, more of a land and stuff ball here. On your way up back to the door, but only close.
Yeah, I'll take the yes off my shirt. I'll put the Johnny back on. Johnny.
Action!
Not really. So the beginning should be almost a little bit slow motion. He comes in, boom, says Mr. Smith. Okay. This is good.
So I can like
Maybe try to drop the thing and say Mr. Smith. Okay?
Ready, action!
Go.
Mr. Smith?
Farmer come?
Not ready. Give me the data.
You can't shoot me in the head.
Not Give me the data.
Can't shoot.
Not in the head.
As yet, no, sir.
Right in the camera. Camera?
And set. Action!
You say the sinner's hand holds the Lord's cure! That cure is mine! Behold your Savior!
Set.
And action. The cure is mine! Behold your Savior!
Pick one marker.
And set. Action! Get the zone! Go! Get the zone! It's your only chance! Go!
Okay.
Cut!
What did she do? Let's make this.
Okay. Cut!
What are you doing?
Making a long-distance phone call. Beijing, hotel.
The year is 2021.
We loading or not?
The world is wired.
Your storage capacity? I can carry nearly 80 gigs of data in my head.
Information is power. And secrets are a thing of the past. Unless you hire a courier like Johnny Mnemonic.
Hit me.
How do you fit all that in your head anyway?
I had to dump a chunk of long-term memory.
You had to dump a chunk of what?
My childhood.
For Johnny, inputting the data was easy.
Let's just start with what you got in there and what it's worth to the world.
The hard part is making the delivery.
Double cheese anchovies? You weren't on the menu. Charlie! They were waiting for me, Ralphie.
Johnny,
Oh, I'm losing it.
the information you carry, you must protect it with your life.
Keanu Reeves.
You can't shoot me.
Not in the head.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Good morning. This is your wake-up call.
The year is 2021. It is no longer safe to transmit information. Phones, computers, and satellites are all vulnerable. But there is a solution.
Your storage capacity? I can carry nearly 80 gigs of data in my head.
Input the data into the brain of a human courier, like Johnny Mnemonic.
Hit me.
How do you fit all that in your head anyway?
I had to dump a chunk of long-term memory.
You had to dump a chunk of what?
My childhood.
What are you doing?
Making a long-distance phone call. I got the goods, Ralphie. Now I just want to get them out of my head.
Now, in a future...
We locked on him.
Where those who control the information control the world.
I've been charged with recovering the head of the mnemonic courier.
Everyone wants what is stored in Johnny's head.
Double cheese anchovies?
Charlie! They were waiting for me, Ralphie.
Time is running out.
I'm a dead man if I don't get this out of my head.
I can get it out.
How?
A cranial drill and a pair of forceps.
For the future's most wanted fugitive. Keanu Reeves.
You can't shoot me.
Not in the head.
Johnny Mnemonic.
I guess an important aspect of Johnny is that in order to get this implant and this capability, he had to take out his childhood, his long-term memory. So there's that issue. He has no past. What he knowingly takes on is the chance of a cranial hemorrhage, of brain hemorrhage, and his implants, his brain basically exploding. But he figures he's on the edge and he wants to take the risk. It's a lot of money, and that's what he does. One of the reasons that I've tried to get the part was the extraordinary original circumstances. A man with a computer implant that's hemorrhaging, that whole thing of why does someone in their job go that far? I mean, what happened to him when he took out his youth, his memory, his past, and he's recreated this man, this presence, this guy who does his work, and he's just like, hard, straight, you know? And then it starts to, you know, it's in Hamlet. But I guess if that's a foul deed, I do not know. But there's a line that says, though all the earth overwhelmed them, two men's eyes, foul, no, what? Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth overwhelm them to men's eyes. And so what's been cool to work on is violence and anger toward oneself and how one lives in terms of, in his past, cutting that out, doing his job, living. I have a line where I say, all my life, all my life, I've been careful to stay in my own corner, looking out for number one, no complications. You can't do that, man. You can only do that for so long, and then things happen. And I think that's what happens to everyone. And so that's been, it's been fun to live in that and to try and to think about that and to try to perform it and make it symbolic and entertaining, and, all of the characters have their place. It's been a lot of fun, and he's a good man, and he's interesting, and his mind has a lot of vigor, and he's been open and sharing with me his emotional and intellectual, and so it's play. It's been fun to play, and also him and Henry Rollins and Ice-T. Those are two other extraordinary people in terms of how they live their life. In music, in cinema, in social concerns, in their altruism, and they're wheeling and dealing. And so if you want to move information off of the net, you'd call me. I've got basically 120 gigabyte capacity, and I get uploaded with 320 gigabyte. Working with Robert has been great because he's done visual art, and to think, in speaking with him, he has nothing, he's trying to have everything that's cinematic and image have meaning.
Well, J-Bone is the leader of the Low-Techs, and the Low-Techs are the resistance to the system at this point in the future. And what we do is we take information from the world, as television gives out, we recontextualize it and we spit it back at the world in our own way. And it's kind of like, in a way, we try to make sense of the madness, but the government wants to shut us down because we're the only people out there that are really trying to tell the truth. Even though J-Bone is perceived to be a bad guy by the system, he's really a good guy. And when I talked to Robert and different people about the film, they said that basically what J-Bone is a cranked up version of what I do today. Said that what J-Bone has done is found a way to take the information or the channels that information are allowed to escape upon, be in television and radio, and redirect the energy. And that's similar to what we do with music now. What I do with music now is, I don't think when records were invented they ever thought people would use these records to speak out against the government. And so when you do use their methods of giving information and you change it, they try to shut you down immediately. The territory that J-Bone controls is an area called Heaven, which is built under this bridge that we're sitting under. And it's basically made up of trucks and cars that have been lifted 200 feet into the air and tied under the bridge like a cocoon. And the people that work with me, we've devised ways of taking junk and turning it into our world. And it's a pretty good, cool hideout.
I wrote this short story 13 years ago. It was probably the second piece of fiction I ever wrote. It was my first real big professional sale. I got $800, and I was like, I bought a television set. I was happening. I was a writer. So because of that, it's particularly great that this is the first thing of mine that's actually made it into production. The first time I came in here, I was on the verge of tears for about 2 hours. It was just like emotionally, completely overwhelming. And I went away and thought about it, and I realized that for 13 years, I've gone on and on describing environments like this. These are, for some reason, whatever this is, it's very, very central to my art. And I never expected to see one realized to this degree of resolution. Johnny's a smuggler, basically. He's like a mule, except rather than smuggling cocaine, he smuggles hot information. He smuggles it on a chip in his head that he has no conscious access to. And he's a little bit overconfident, the deal goes wrong, and cut to the chase. Keanu brings a sort of innocence to this role that you glimpse occasionally beneath this wonderful, slick facade of wise-ass cleverness. You see that there's a kind of childlike quality, which when you get to the end of the movie and you understand his character makes perfect sense. It's fast and it's funny and it's a very, very, very hip piece of science fiction, and it doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before.